We are facing a moment when facts alone are not enough. Facts matter enormously, but connection, listening, and understanding people matter too. Communities are diverse, especially Latino communities in the United States, and they consume information everywhere. And if journalists want trust, it has to understand what people are hearing, fearing, and experiencing there. And it's the kind of journalism that I would like to do. Facts matter, but connection and understanding your community or your audience matter too. Multipartiality was a concept that I found with one of my fellow in during the JSK Journalism Fellowship at Stanford University, and we were exploring how we can apply this concept of multipartiality and how might we apply this to journalism. The thing is trying to to understand how journalism could change or could challenge narrative that criminalize immigrants, for example. And the idea was simple. How can we show all the colors of an issue instead of only black and white? And we are still exploring it. We do not have the recipe, but we believe journalism needs more listening, more complexity, and more perspective. A multipartiality is the way that we can explore different perspectives of the same issue and how might we challenge the narrative when this narrative is affecting Latino communities or immigrants in our case. Yes, it's difficult because we were exploring how to do an experiment, but in our daily work, the thing is that you have to be conscious about, beware about. You need more perspective or thinking about the stories that we are not seeing in the mainstream media. And from Palabra, we publish local journalists serving Latino communities. There are stories producing from Latinos to Latinos, you know, and they understand cultural context, fears, language, and misinformation better than anyone. Misinformation affecting their communities, right? And beyond facts, sources, and data, the stories journalists choose to tell and how they tell them also matter. And I think that the multipartiality is like a big concept, but in the real life, is good journalism. You have to tell the stories that other people are not telling, and the people need to understand the complexity of an issue with colors, not black and white. I think the solution journalism is part of this concept, but I think that this principle of the theory about multipartiality is more like bringing more perspective, more voices, and more narrative to counteract the main narrative if the main narrative is disinforming or misinforming about community. In this case, I chose criminalization related to immigrants because last year, especially last year, we received as a Venezuelan living in the United States, we received a lot of attacks from narrative, you know, and we started to think about how might we counteract them without this corset of the fact checking. Because with the fact checking piece, you can say this is false because data show that just 0.1% of the immigrant commit crimes. And what we understood, and that's not enough. The people prefer to hear stories and connect with the stories than facts, than numbers, than percentage. And what we understand and we have to explore, I, I want to say this again. We don't have the recipe. The recipe. We are exploring how might we connect more. How can we tell stories that resonate better with our communities, and the people can read and support journalists, because the people are following a lot of influencers, and they are, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are telling very bad things and misinformation, and spreading uh, hate speech, and spreading data that or is confused or is completely fake. And we have, as journalists, our main concern now is how to build trust,